You know, the guys really came back with a work hard attitude, and really I couldn't have asked for them to come back in a more challenging attitude than what they did. And you know, one of the things we wanted to do is improve off of how we finished the year. I thought the assistant coaches did a great job on how they took, you know, from a self-scouting point of view, and made a lot of individual tapes, a lot of individual reports for each guy. When they first came in the door, those things were set and ready for them, and the guys took it to heart and really had a very good spring in the weight room, in the training room, and then here on the field. And it's light years on where we were last year because they didn't know me, I didn't know them. And just from a terminology, are we speaking the same language? Do we understand what we really want? It took, you know, a little bit of time for all of us to get acclimated last year, and now we're hoping we can start off faster this year because there's a base of information that we all know is the same. The other thing is that, and I've said this before to you guys, is that when will it ever be more important to them than to us? And the good teams I've ever been on and some of the greatest defenses I've ever been a part of, it was much more important to them than it was to me. And these guys have kind of taken some ownership in that, so it's been fun. We've had a good spring here in the OTAs, the 9 OTAs. Offensively, they've cooperated. I thought there were some really good things our offense was doing to challenge us, and I didn't think any of our guys backed off on any of that. And Jeff does a really good job on how he takes care of our players as far as how we build them physically and how we build them mentally. And so we've had a very good off season. This is a good time for them to get away now and start working on their own, and looking forward to training camp once we start back up.
Just a follow-up to what you said right at the start of your comments. So each player got, it was kind of like a an assessment.
Each player got a video cut-up of some things that we talked about, strength, weaknesses, that was on tape that we could see. And, you know, we all learn, is it verbally, audibly, visually, walking, how do we learn? And the fact that we have some things on tape now that we could talk about, and there's more of an understanding. There's also more of a buy-in when a coach talks to you individually. It's one thing for a coach to talk to you all the defense. Or it's one thing for a coach to talk just to his position area. But the coaches went the extra mile, each one of the assistants that worked for me, and went to an individual report on an individual player, because not all players are the same. You know, if anybody here thinks that Michael Brockers and Aaron Donald play the position the same way, they don't. But yet they play the same position, but their technique, the way they play is different. So how do we go about impacting growth and development on each individual guys? And I thought our coaches did a really good job with that. But more importantly, it was fun for me to see the players buy in to that. And then they finished today. Today, there was another report that was handed each and every one of them on what they listened to us on day one of the off-season, and now as they finish the off-season, where they grew, where they didn't grow, and before they come back to training camp. So it's been really good.
Greg, you mentioned knowing them better than you did, obviously, a year ago at this time, them knowing you better. How much are you able to now kind of dig deeper into what you like to do or cook up new things, or is it more about kind of hammering home what you already know?
All that stuff is true, but then also, how do I not put too much clutter in what they're thinking about? You know, I take a lot of pride in adapting scheme to every team I go to. And every team I've gone to, I've changed the scheme based upon the skill set of the guys that are playing. Not what I like calling, it's what they can do. So obviously, because of understanding what they can do, what they like to do, and then that's the other thing too, is you talk to those guys here this off season, is listen to them take ownership. Listen to them to do a lot of the checking and audibling. And you know, I've given them a lot of tools in their toolbox, but now they understand those tools, and they'll be making calls out on the field that fits their skill set. So they'll stay in the family of the call, but the call has all kinds of adjustments that they can do that fits their skill set. They can do that now because we've had all this experience together.
Based on what you're saying and what you now have a better idea of what they can do, have you taken maybe some of that clutter that didn't work? Or taken
and we do that every year. We've taken some of those things, but then we've also added things. Mm-hmm. And some of the things that we've added, they've brought to us, you know, that they've done before in the past. And we've adapted a couple of things there. But, you know, how do we manage personnel? You know, our personnel has changed a little bit from last year. And how do we manage packages? We play a lot of different people. You know, whoever dresses on Sunday or dresses on game day, there's going to be a package for those guys. They just don't all play special teams. And you see that, you know, we have 42 ways to add up to 11. When I say that, we have 42 words that this 11 guys travel out there. Well, you know, we just did 18 of them here this spring. So 18 of them is from different packages. When I say that, people want to say, was that a 3-4 package? Or is that a 4-3 package? Or is that a nickel package? No, it's more than that. It's all kinds of things because guys are buying in now, and so there's a package for that guy's skill set.
So you have 42 packages in your playbook.
And what I've done for years to pack. And you know what?
But you used 18 of them this spring.
Right, and we don't use all of them. But you know, as coaches, we spend so much time, poor time, in meetings on what we're going to name something. I got a Bible on what we're going to name it. I've been through this so many times for 30-some years, is that now all those names are tagged, and we don't have to argue about what we're going to name it. No, this is what we're going to name it, and we move on.
You've actually had debates about what are you going to call
it? Oh, yeah. We have debates about all of a sudden we invent a new blitz, we invent a new call, you know, so all of a sudden we'll agree, yeah, we like that, let's do it. What are we going to name it? And so we take, I don't know how long it's going to take, but we name it. So now we don't do that anymore. So it's all good because I've got all those things from years past, and it's fun to see the coaches buy into all that stuff, and the coaches have done a very good job. I've been really pleased with the assistants on the development. They've done a lot more, I think. Even in the practices that you guys have been around and have seen me, you've seen me do less because they can do more. The assistants know more about what I want.
Now, this predates you, but the defenses here under Fisher have gotten off the slow starts. Is that something you talk about in the spring or no?
Oh, yeah. In fact, don't take the quote from me. Once you ask these young gentlemen who play if I have warned them out about that. That'd be good to getting a quote from them. That'd be good. Yes, we've discussed it.
Yeah. And the last 8 games of the season, with the exception of the Giants game, you guys were like second in the league. Totally scoring defense.
And not that I would count either, Jim. And then that Giants game, there were 5 plays that I didn't sleep very well on.
They still bother you?
They still bother me. Yeah, because they were simple plays and plays we'd seen before, but we just didn't play them very well because we were on a roll.
My question is, can this? And you know what the definition of this is. Can this be a special defense?
We would hope so, and I would tell you this. I've had a chance to be a part of many special defenses. You know, I've been to 7 different places, and 5 of those 7 places where we've been top 5 or best in the world at what we do. This is a talented group, and in order for us to be that way, there can't be any miscommunication. You know, one play can beat you one way or the other, and when you see these guys, and you know, from coaching, I always take it personal. If they make a mistake, it's because they don't know. Why don't they know? It's because evidently I didn't get it to them right. But when they are on the same page and you see these guys talking, yeah, there's a chance for them to be special. But we've also got to get the opponents to cooperate too. And we've got a pretty tough schedule. I don't think there's any simple schedules in the National Football League. Our schedule will be tough, but it's going to be fun to see these guys start out and hopefully start faster than we have before in the past.
How's Ayers?
He's good. You know, he's been very good, and he fit back in very quickly. There was for me, you know, I was with him at Tennessee down there that one year, and there's some real similarities in the verbiage from there to here because that coach down there was one of my proteges, and they were already doing some of that similar stuff. But I really do believe that it was good for him to go see Bill Belichick. It was really good for him to go and witness that style, that demeanor, that focus in what they do and the success that he got from it. But he's come back here and he's fit in very well. And, you know, as you see, I think Jolan's had he's been with me for so long, you know, they tease him about being my stepson and that he lives at my house and he has to go through that all the time. But competition makes us all better, and we'll have packages for all those guys to play. Not only Akeem, but Jolan, not only Jolan, but you know, Darren Bates, and all those guys are going to have packages. But Akeem has fit in very well, and we've got to try to adapt some things to his skill set. Hide the things he doesn't do real well, but maximize the things that he does do well, and he does some really good things.
Ayers has played all over the front 7. Is that versatility?
It's very good. And, you know, that's one of the things that I think Coach Belichick and I both look at is that the more you can do, the better you are. And you can't have excuses when you have injuries during the season. You got to be able to move people around bring the next best guy up. And when you can play more than one position, we always look for our guys to play more than one position. It's better, and it helps you be more versatile, and he can do all those things, and he has done those things.
What about Nick Fairley? How has he done?
Oh man, he's done very well, and Nick has fit in really well here, and I knew quite a bit about him. Coach knew quite a bit about him, Coach Fisher, from the Auburn connections that they had there, but you know, he played for some people up at Detroit that were in my coaching tree also, so I knew quite a bit about him, and he has really fit in very well here. The thing that's been fun for me to watch is the big eyes he had when he came in and saw the talent in that room. He saw all of a sudden, whoa, I'm going to have to compete for any time to get on the field with these guys, and he has done. He has done a remarkable job. It's going to be fun packaging all those guys up, and we don't, you know, we just don't play, you know, 4 guys or 3 guys on defense. We try to have as much of a 50-50 split or 45-55 split of a ball game, keeping those guys fresh, and he'll fit in good for us.
You've had some been complicated by injuries at safety, but just your overall thoughts on how the secondaries look this spring.
Very good spring, and even to the point where guys who have not taken as many reps, if you see how close we keep them involved in playing the game when they're not on the field, and with TJ and Mark Barron, you see them happen to focus in and do things, but it's been great for Maurice. If you want to talk about a guy that's drastically different from last year, you know, he could hardly even speak what we were doing last year. And, you know, he'd only played 1 year in college as a DB. And all of a sudden now he's in the NFL as a DB. Holy cow. So he was lost, but he was talented. He's had a great spring just because he's gotten more reps next man up, because TJ and Mark haven't had as many. But both those guys will be back. It's going to be fun. And you all saw us last year maximize a lot on those 3 safety packages that we use, and we have a ton of stuff to do in 3 safeties if we need to do that. Not if we, when we do that. And Maurice now has vied for his time to get some of those shots too.